everyone. Just taking a real quick ad break here to tell you about Anchor Podcast. It is a free app that you can download from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. It is a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Space Place podcast, where we talk on all things space and place. I'm your host, AJ Blaylock, and this is my guest,
Tyler Harrison, the smooth one, as some people say.
And today we are getting into the episode for the Bad Batch trailer for Star Wars, and this is pretty exciting, everyone. This is a new spinoff from the Star Wars universe coming to you on Disney Plus.
Could have called it. Could have called it a long time ago.
Yeah, they could have made it, but they didn't. This actually has been premiered beforehand in a small clip from a Comic-Con, but the Bad Batch came back in season 7 of Star Wars, and they actually animated it fully this time and allowed everyone to get a small little glimpse of the Bad Batch and what we're going to be seeing on May the 4th, which is them in the time between episode 3 and episode 4.
Which seems to be where pretty much everything exists.
Pretty much. But on May the 4th, we'll be getting this episode, and it will be 70 minutes long, guys. 70 minutes.
70 minutes of Clone War type animation is going to be a whole lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
Continue story. Almost as much fun as the animated Clone Wars movie that I watched as like an 8-year-old. And it was like the best day ever.
Yes, and it will be, as that movie and as the Clone Wars has been, it will be created by Dave Filoni and his crew back at Lucasfilm, and we will be getting all the fun animation and everything throughout the Bad Batch.
David Filoni does it right. And
David Filoni.
And so does Lucasfilm.
Yes. And so, with the trailer, we've gotten several just different things that are mysteries to us, or some things that are fully revealed to us throughout the trailer. And it's pretty exciting to see what will come from this series.
Yeah, to me, who's a Star Wars fan, big Star Wars fan, kind of a Star Wars nerd, but not really someone who studies it, it's basically all a mystery, besides the fact that it makes me want to watch the show. But if you haven't seen the trailers, I think there's 2 now, you should probably watch them, because then you'll be on my page of wanting to watch the show.
Heck yeah. And with the show coming out as a trailer so far, what we've seen that isn't a mystery to us is the fact that it is starting after Order 66.
The Empire has already been formed?
The Empire is forming in front of our eyes throughout this series.
You see in the trailer the Emperor as the Emperor saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the Emperor in the trailer is explaining on the first galactic empire of Star Wars, and we get to see him give the full speech to all the clone troopers, and we also see the clone troopers that we will be knowing and loving throughout the series, which are the Bad Batch or Clone Force 99.
Very cool. Does it have anything to do with 99, the old dude?
Yes, it does. It does.
Because they're part of the same generation, right? Is that what it is?
They're not from the same generation of Clone Batch, but they were formed in honor of that janitor.
That is right. If you don't remember Clone 99, he's the guy with the broom who seems to be a whole lot wiser than everybody else in the room.
Yes.
And we give a big ol' RIP 99 every time we think about it.
F's in the chats, everyone. F in the chat. Okay? And so from Clone Trooper 99, which is the defective clone that we see with the broom at Camino, we get 5 clones or 4 clones.
with maybe some more interesting defects or some more powerful defects than the
Yes.
ability to be an old dude with a broom.
Yeah, so the 5 clones we get to see are Hunter, Echo. Well, Echo is actually not one of them,
But that's
but
something, yeah.
you get Hunter, Crosshair, Tech, and Wrecker in the group.
Which basically, if you can't tell, Hunter's kind of the vanilla. He's kind of just a guy with a gun, and he kind of leads the pack.
Yes, he's vanilla, but
He's
with his name, he's a hunter. He actually has enhanced like
senses and
sight,
stuff.
yeah,
So
senses,
he's not as vanilla, but you have to have some sort of vanilla in the group,
yeah,
and I would say he's probably it. Which actually, now that I think about it, any clone that isn't exactly like the others probably can't be considered vanilla.
because the other ones are pretty vanilla and they're all just clones. They're all the
Right.
same
They
guy.
just have different tattoos, hairstyles,
Yep. And these guys look completely different from their brothers.
diversity.
Yes. And so we got Crosshair, which is the sniper for
That
the group.
seems to be the coolest one, in my opinion. Tech, which from the name, I guess you could assume that he's good with computers and bad with girls.
Yes, bad, horrible with girls. Or I mean, we'll see.
We'll
Maybe
see.
he's going to be good
Maybe
with Finnick.
we never
I
know.
we don't.
And Finnick is the bounty hunter lady,
Yes,
right?
she's the bounty hunter lady from the Mandalorian series.
And the name of a really annoying gun in COD, or a
Ye-
really confusing gun in Modern Warfare.
It's a misunderstood gun. Okay,
Okay.
it's just a misunderstood.
All right. Anyways.
Anyways, and the one more is Wrecker.
Again, pretty self-explanatory.
He wrecks things. He is the brute of the entire group. He is that Halo brute that we all see and know
I
and
have
love.
a feeling he's going to destroy something he's not supposed to, and it's going to cause a whole lot of tension.
Yes.
Dramatic tension. I'm just calling it right now. And then someone I didn't realize we have. What about Echo? What happened to Echo again?
Oh yeah, we have Echo, which is the clone trooper that was taken by the separatist or the droid.
Right, and he was rescued.
Yeah, he was rescued, and before he was rescued, he was altered to be basically a cyborg in ways.
So he's cool.
Yes, and the clone trooper you didn't realize that was going to be joining the group that
Mhm.
has been a part of the group so far, which is
Captain Rex.
Captain Rex.
Which, side note, I think Cody's cooler than Rex. Unpopular opinion, bit of a hot take, but go on.
He's cooler than Rex, but Rex is the only other clone trooper that has the chip removed to this point from season 7.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you've been listening so far and not realizing that we were going to talk about Star Wars spoilers, if you haven't seen Clone Wars yet, yeah, spoiler warning. Sorry, it was a little late in the episode,
It's been
but
a while though, so if you're that lazy, then maybe you should learn.
yeah. And other characters we get to see throughout the series are none other than Tarkin, which is a really cool character throughout Star Wars.
Right.
He is not a Grand Moff yet, I don't think. I think he's just an officer at
Is
this
he
point.
just a Moff?
He might just be a general.
Is there such thing as just a Moff?
He might. Oh, actually, he's
Pre-Grand,
yes, pre-Grand Moff,
half Grand,
pre-Grand Admiral
Grand
Roth. Yes, and
So if Moff is like, he's training them, it looks like, or he's their leader for a little while, it looks like. That means they're at least starting out with the Empire.
yes, they are at least starting out with the Empire until some random event takes place on whatever planet that we're going to be seeing,
Right.
where they have a complete shift where they realize, oh, wait, the Empire is evil.
Empire bad.
Yes, and from what we can tell, I don't remember in Clone Wars Season 7 if this was true or not. They were not chipped like the other clones.
Which means they could maybe make a choice.
Yes, they have a little bit more free will, like Rex has now since he lost the.
And I totally would not see Rex being a part of them, or they themselves going along with the Empire. So, at some point, I would say really early on, they'll probably split off and do their own thing. which, I mean, that follows. Usually, some of the big things in trailers happen really, really, really early or are super insignificant to the story compared to other things. So, I think the fact that we saw them with Tarkin in the trailer means that that's going to happen early, and they're
Yeah.
not going to be with him very long.
Yes, they're not going to be a part of the group of the Empire for too long through the series. Maybe within the first episode, we'll get to see some interest, like
Because we
them
know,
getting betrayed or something.
right? Or the fact that they don't want to burn villages or something. Like what's his face from the trilogy we don't speak of
The trilogy we don't speak of.
much.
Yes, yes,
I
that
mean,
is a horrible
it's
trilogy. We
still
will not
there.
speak of it. It's still there. It might
There's
be,
some redeemable moments.
yeah, it's still pretty decent. It's not like any other series that we've
But
seen.
12-year-old Tyler watching the other Star Wars material had more fun than 16, 17, 18-year-old Tyler watching the newer trilogy. So
Yes.
that's basically the lens that I'm looking at it from. So. So yeah, they're probably not going to be with the Empire very long, which is a good thing.
And another thing we see in the trailers is them fighting the clones that are a part of the Empire.
Which is going to be fun and possibly pretty boring because they kind of know how the clone. Do they really know how the clones work? Were they actually clone troopers at any point?
Well, maybe
Maybe.
they might be able to see the chips activated on Camino. They might be starting there during Order 66, or we might actually see some Jedi get their heads chopped off and stuff by some clones at the
That would be
temple.
interesting.
They could be joining. Well, actually, no. So Rex has the chip out already.
Okay.
So it's going to be right after Order 66.
Mm-hmm.
So they would probably be going back to Camino on the first episode, and we'll see the clones coming to destroy the Camino facility because this is a small storyline that we see in the old Battlefront 2 video game. Uh, we see the clone troopers that are a part of the Empire coming to destroy the clone facility on Camino.
Okay.
So we might
Yeah, why'd they do that again?
they do that because the Kaminoans realized that the Empire was bad as well.
Yeah.
So they took all the young clones to fight the older clones. The 501st Legion is probably going to be the one to execute all those clones and Kaminoans.
Sad.
And
Very big sad.
other characters we get to see are Saw Gerrera and a small Kaminoan kid.
Yep. Honestly, just a little bit weird. It seems like it's like a 12-year-old girl, and they're like, "Hey, come along with us as we are 6 grown men or whatever."
Yeah, and
But
yeah,
we'll see.
we'll just look over that. But it could be that they were her only escape from Camino.
That and what Kaminoans can not age for a while. Is she actually a Kaminoan? She
Well,
looks
no,
like
she's not.
she's a human.
Yeah, she's human, so she's not a fish person. Maybe she's a clone that they made
That makes
to
more
be like
sense.
smart
Honestly,
for
though,
them.
it could be a dude.
Yeah, it could be a dude, and we just don't know it.
Anyways,
The animation could just trick us.
who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, so we have some really fun parts of the Star Wars universe introduced, and we get to see all of that throughout the trailer, and hopefully throughout Star Wars, we get to, or the Bad Batch, we get to see some pretty cool planets as well.
Right.
Um, so some of our guesses as to the planets that we've seen in the trailer are mine. There's a snow planet in the trailer that we see at like 36 seconds within.
Thereabouts.
Yeah.
It could be Hoth, but probably not because the clones that are shown aren't wearing snow gear and there's not a ton of snow.
Yeah, and it could be Ilum, or it could just be a whole different planet that we haven't seen yet.
Which would be cool.
Yes.
And you're Star Wars nerds when fan service is seeing new planets
Yes.
that you haven't seen in a while.
Yes, and on these planets, there are some pretty cool droids that we see in the trailer as well
Mm-hmm.
that we haven't seen yet. Another planet we probably are seeing through the trailer is Coruscant.
It's a good guess.
It's a good guess. I mean, we've seen Coruscant throughout all of Star Wars.
Right.
It's literally the same thing.
We still haven't really been able to explore it too much, though.
Yes, it would be cool to see the Underrealms just like the old Star Wars game 1313 that never came out.
And again, Star Wars nerds.
Yeah, Star Wars nerds. Thank you guys. But so actually, now that I think about it, in season seven, we do see a little bit of the under parts of Coruscant with the Cortez sisters. It's a really small portion in between the Bad Batch and the final parts of season seven, and you get to see a little bit of the underrealms of Coruscant, but maybe we can see some more with them hiding on Coruscant,
They could totally make another series just about like mobs on Coruscant.
which they basically did with a video game, Star Wars 1313,
But
but
again, it
we'll
didn't
never
come
get to
out.
see it because Lucasfilm
When
or
was that supposed to come out, or
Disney.
what was that?
It was supposed to come out like before COVID, actually.
So it was a cool video game. It was going to be a
Yes.
cool game,
Yeah, it
and
was.
then Disney said no.
Yes,
Thanks,
Disney said
Disney.
no.
Thanks, Disney.
Yes, thanks Disney. Or
Basically,
maybe it was someone else.
who knows?
Who knows?
Basically, we're really lucky that the Bad Batch is even a thing because I don't know. Disney has been really, it's been kind of rough. But you know, with the shows, it's been okay. The Mandalorian was, of course, really great, and the Clone Wars really great, and so I think they're gonna do it again with the Bad Batch. The concept is just so cool alone that I think it should be good.
Yeah, and so another planet that we can just move on to is Camino, which is pretty
Kind
obvious.
of a
We've already mentioned it. We get to see Camino again. It's a pretty cool planet. It's all water, so if you're a waterbender, you will love it.
I'm not a waterbender. Would you? I mean, you know this, but like, are you gonna shoot me this time that I say I haven't sat through Avatar
No, I'm not going to shoot you. Why would I ever do that?
because you want me to see Avatar?
Yes, I do want you to see it. I might
That's
just.
why you're not gonna shoot me, so
Uh,
I can see it.
yes,
So basically, you're never gonna shoot me until I've seen Avatar.
we'll talk.
Once I've seen Avatar, there's a chance you're gonna shoot me.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk about it. We'll
All
talk
right.
about it.
I'm willing to take the risk.
Yeah, and then the final planet is a junkyard planet that could be either from Jedi Fallen Order.
There's big boy Empire. They can't be Empire ships yet, can they? They're just like clone carrier ships or whatever.
Yes, there's just clone carrier
Okay.
ships on the planet.
So it's either Jakku, which is where Rey finds things.
Yeah, and where in Battlefront 2, the new one,
You have a big ship battle
there's a
map,
big,
right?
yes, big ship battle map, and there's actual like star destroyers and stuff crashing.
Which, I mean, we could figure out. Do we know that there were like the clone ships on Jakku?
There might have
Or
been.
was it totally just an Imperial junkyard?
It, well, Jakku was not one of the Imperial junkyards. I believe the one at Jedi Fallen Order was the spot where Han grew up,
Okay.
which the name escapes me where that is.
I have no idea.
But yeah, that spot where Han grows up becomes a giant just wreckage yard where they start tearing apart the ships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super obscure names, not sure. I can whoop up on people in just general Star Wars trivia and they think I'm some sort of wizard, but when it comes to like the planet that Han grew up on, not exactly sure.
I just looked it up. It's Corellia,
Corellia.
which is a shipyard that the Empire takes over and uses to make their ships. So they could be reassembling the ships there at Corellia or repositioning them so that they could scrap them in Jedi Fallen Order,
Very
which
cool.
should be canon. It is canon.
It is canon.
Yes,
I haven't played it yet.
it's a great video game.
My friend just got it. He's getting a PC too.
Yeah, it gets to experience Jedi Fallen Order. You experience Order 66. It's pretty great.
I was always terrified of that. I don't know why. Order 66, that word struck fear into me as a pure-hearted Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
You know, because I harnessed the light side of the Force.
Mm,
So the words Order 66 always give me shivers.
yeah. Well, That's it.
That's just pretty much what we know and what we don't know.
Yes.
Basically, I'm very excited for the show.
I am very excited as well, and I can't wait for us to see all these random events taking place through the Bad Batch and through all the clone troopers of Clone Force 99.
True, true, true.
Well, okay, guys, thank you for tuning in for this episode. Please leave a like on all the podcasts that you are listening to this on. And
Leave us 3,000 stars
yes,
on Apple Podcasts.
3,000 stars, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Just share it. I don't know if there's a rating system on Google.
Basically, if you can rate us, please rate us well, for the sake of our self-esteem and for your conscience.
Yes. Well, I mean, mostly to help get the show some viewage and let people know that
No,
we exist.
it's for them. It's for their conscience. They know they want to better than they should.
And a little teaser for the next episode, which will be the Bad Batch first episode on May the 4th. I should be coming out with that episode.
Pretty soon
And
here.
yes, we will see what the Bad Batch has in store for us. And yeah, it's going to be a couple weeks until then, but I will gladly see you guys then. And
Or,
coming out with the episode on Tuesday.
or speak to you without seeing you, because it's a podcast.
Yes. I mean, I'll probably read their comments somewhere.
Okay. And then get a visual picture
Yeah.
about what the person looks like as they're being mean to us through the internet.
Yes.
Okay.
Just trash us. Please just trash us.
Rate us well, but in the comments,
Trash everything.
roast us.
Also, if you can send a cake recipe to me, that would be amazing.
Basically, what we're saying is we want cake recipes, and we take all of our compliments in negative ways. So please write negative things.
All right. Well, that's the episode, guys. I will catch you guys next week, and we will be doing great and having fun together.
Talking about space and talking about place.
Yes, this has been the Space Police Podcast, and we will see you guys later.